Hello everyone, in this lecture the difference among dynamic verb, stative verb, and mixed verb is explained in detail with understandable examples. But if you are new to my channel then please subscribe the channel and like the video. Let's first learn a dynamic verb. A dynamic verb, also known as an action verb, is a verb that expresses an action. What does it mean? Simply, it means that it describes something that is happening or has happened. Actually, it is also called action verb. In other words, you can say, when a verb which describes an activity that is happening or has happened, then it is called a dynamic verb. Just look at these examples. The dog ate its food quickly. Observe the verb, ate, is a dynamic verb or action verb. Basically, this verb shows action of eating. So, that is why it is called dynamic verb. There must be a question in your mind that why it is classified into this group. The answer is, a dynamic verb can be used in continuous tenses or progressive tenses. Simply, you can convert this verb into continuous tense and stative verb cannot be used in continuous tenses. Like, the dog is eating its food quickly. You can see, a dynamic verb, eat, can be used in progressive tenses. While on the other hand, a stative verb cannot be used in progressive tenses. The chef chopped the vegetables into small pieces. Again, the verb, chopped, is a dynamic verb or action verb. Basically, it shows an action. You can simply say that this verb shows a physical activity. When a chef chops the vegetables into small pieces, then his body is involved in it. So, it describes an action of the body, so that is why it is called a dynamic verb. And the next point is, it can be used in continuous tenses. Like, the chef was chopping the vegetables into small pieces. While on the other hand, a stative verb can be defined as. Stative verbs, also known as state verbs or non-action verbs, are a type of a verb that describes a state or condition rather than an action. What does it mean? Simply, it means that it is the opposite of a dynamic or action verb. As a dynamic verb describes action, but stative verb describes a state of a person or a thing. And it does not talk about physical activity, but rather it describes the state of it. But there must be a question that why grammarians have classified it into stative verbs. The answer is because stative verbs cannot be used in continuous or progressive tenses. Just look at these examples. This book belongs to me. Look at the verb, belongs, it is a stative verb. Because it shows a state and it does not describe any physical activity. Basically, this verb cannot be used in continuous tense. Simply, we cannot say like this. This book is belonging to me. This is incorrect because, belong, is a stative verb and we have used it here in continuous tense. So, we can't use it in a progressive tense. I know the answer to the question. Again, the verb, know, is a stative verb. Because it shows my state that I am in a position to answer the question. Simply, you can say it describes my state and not my physical action. So, this can also not be used in progressive tenses. Like we can say, I am knowing the answer to the question. If you say like this, then the sentence would be incorrect. While on the other hand, mixed verbs. Mixed verbs are a type of verb that has two or more meanings, one of which is dynamic and the other stative. This is not something strange or different, but mixed verbs are those verbs which can be used in both ways, as a dynamic verb and also as a stative verb. Actually, it depends on their uses. Just look at these examples. The new building looks very modern. Observe the verb, looks, is a stative verb. Actually, this verb can be used in both ways. So, here it describes the state of the building. So, that is why it functions as a stative verb here. While I looked out the window at the snow. Look at this example. The verb, looked, here is a dynamic verb, because here it does not talk about the state of the person but here it talks about the physical activity of looking out of the window. So, you can see it can be used as a dynamic verb and as well as a stative verb. So, that is why it is called a mixed verb. The coffee smells good. Look at this example. The verb, smells, is stative verb because it talks about the state of the coffee and it does not talk about an action. So, it can also be used as dynamic verb. Like, I smell the beautiful flowers. Observe this verb, smell, which is used here as a dynamic verb. So, you can see in the above sentence, it functions as stative verb and here it functions as a dynamic verb. So, that is why it is called mixed verb. Simply, you can say when a verb can function both as dynamic and stative verb then that verb is known as mixed verb. Well, if you have enjoyed this lecture then please don't forget like and subscription to the channel. Thank you.